What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global back here with another video. And in this one, we're going to be talking about the news that dropped today. Just right after the New England Patriots concluded their third day open to the media of OTAs. And actually, the last day of OTAs before we get into minicamp, that they will be hosting elite and recently released free agent wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins for a visit next week. Now, at this current time, there's not a lot of visits set up for DeAndre Hopkins, but it is said that he does kind of want to go on a bit of a tour, for lack of better words. Essentially, he's never been a free agent at all throughout his entire career. But before we break all of these details down and my overall thoughts, and is this a realistic possibility for the New England Patriots, let's roll that Patriots Global intro. Now, guys, like I said, DeAndre Hopkins, he has never, ever been an actual free agent throughout the entirety of his career. This dude, pretty much ever since he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals, has been absolutely disrespected. I mean, he went from being arguably the best wide receiver in the National Football League, if not easily top three, to being a guy that most people forget about and most people are considering washed. This guy was easily a Hall of Famer at one point, and now it's a very reasonable question mark on if he is going to be able to do so. I think he wants to get back on track, but at the same time, too, he wants to feel some of that respect. He wants to feel like that all-pro DeAndre Hopkins again, which is why I think he's going to visit with several different teams. Whether he's interested in signing with those teams or not, he's going to take some of those overall visits. But like I said, only two teams right now, including the Patriots. So only one other team currently has a visit set up with DeAndre Hopkins. This is a little interesting because you would think at this point of the offseason where talent like this very rarely shows up, released on May 26th. The day that it came out that the New England Patriots were going to be bringing him in for a workout is June 9th. It's over a week. We're going on 2 weeks that DeAndre Hopkins was released, and you're telling me that only two teams have been in contact with him about coming in for a workout. Now, since he was released, we've actually heard a lot of rumors that there's actually not as many teams interested in DeAndre Hopkins as originally thought. Now, of course, a few months ago, new league year starts, free agency starts, and rumors are going crazy about DeAndre Hopkins being traded to the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Browns, the Ravens. All these different teams were in the mix for DeAndre Hopkins, none of which wanted to actually take on that contract, so he ends up getting released. The Cardinals couldn't even get a conditional 7th-round pick because no teams wanted that contract. Now that he's a free agent, we all thought teams would be diving in for the D-Hop sweepstakes, and it sounds like nobody is really doing so. Now, there is one big thing that I think bodes very well for the New England Patriots, and that's the fact that we're all here talking about, well, DeAndre Hopkins, he's 31. He just turned 31. At this point in his career, he probably wants to go win a ring. He probably doesn't care about the money. He's made it. He's gotten good contracts. At this point in his career, he wants to win. He wants to go to the playoffs. He hasn't really gotten to do so. He wants to go win a ring. He's going to be on the Chiefs, who need a wide receiver. He's going to be a part of the Bills, who could use a wide receiver. But from what DeAndre Hopkins himself has said, it doesn't look like he's very worried about playing with an elite quarterback. It doesn't look like his top priority is winning a ring. It looks like he has a very specific atmosphere that he wants to play in, and it doesn't necessarily involve an elite quarterback. There's a couple things that he said that he's looking for when joining a new team. He wants to play with an elite defensive line. He wants to play with a quarterback who loves the game as much as he does, who's dedicated to the game as much as he is. And he wants to play with a consistent front office and consistent management. He basically just listed the New England Patriots. Now, he's not going to come out and say, hey, I also want to get paid, but that's pretty much also what he was saying in the background, right? Like, he's not going to come to the Patriots just because they have a great defense and defensive line, just because they have Mac Jones, who obviously is very dedicated and loves the game, and because they have a consistent management in front office and head coach. But he's not gonna come here for that and then take a pay cut. No, he still is going to want a bag. He's not going to get 20 million from us. He's not going to get 20 million from anybody else. But he still wants that a respectful bag. Now, the New England Patriots are one of the teams that have the most current cap space in the NFL, with about $13 to $14 million in available cap space. You look at teams like the Bills, you look at teams like, let's say, the Chiefs, they only have about $1 to $2 million in available cap space. The Patriots have well past those teams to be able to be very well in the mix. Let's just say the Patriots, if they want DeAndre Hopkins, will not get outbid. They will not. It's just a matter on how bad do they want him. You even look at a team like the Titans, right? That's the one other team that DeAndre Hopkins is meeting with. That's the first team he'll meet with. He'll meet with the Titans, and then he'll meet with the Patriots later on this week, probably within the same few days. The Patriots have just over double the amount of cap space that the Tennessee Titans have. You also look at, again, those three things D-Hop's looking for. I look at the Titans, and I just don't see it. Now, Mike Vrabel, very similar in terms of culture fit that we do here in New England. Obviously, once played here in New England. So I think they are very similar. He wants to win still. But I look at the Titans, and I do still think that they are a team that is looking to essentially rebuild, right? They're not a team that is in a win now mode. They're talking about trading Derrick Henry. Their quarterback situation is up. So you even look at that and you say, well, they don't exactly have an elite defensive line. Do they have a quarterback who loves the game and is dedicated to the game and just wants to win? I don't think so, when they don't even know who their starting quarterback is. But what I will say is they do have pretty consistent front office and management. So you fill out one of those three boxes, but you also cannot provide the same money that the New England Patriots can. I don't see DeAndre Hopkins leaving the Tennessee Titans with a contract. I just don't. It would be a very lucrative deal that he could not turn down. But again, the Patriots have more money they can offer. They have Mac Jones, who, where does he rank amongst other quarterbacks? Is he an elite quarterback or not? We don't know. But what we do know is how dedicated he is to this game, how much he loves this game, how passionate he is about this game. There are not many quarterbacks in the National Football League that love the game or are as passionate about the game, who view the game in Mac Jones' eyes, or view the game in a way that Mac Jones does. And I think that bodes well for the Patriots too. Obviously, also having Bill Belichick, who DeAndre Hopkins and Belichick have a very, very good relationship, always have. We all know the Hard Knocks video from last year where Belichick and DeAndre Hopkins were essentially just telling each other pre-game how much they love and respect each other. This is their probably last chance to be able to play together. Now, before we continue on this video, I do want to give a massive shout out to the sponsors of this channel over at FanDuel. Guys, make a fast break right now to FanDuel during the NBA playoffs, because right now new customers can get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. The great thing that I love about FanDuel is that they have new promotions, great promotions every single day for you guys to make some quick and easy cash. The other thing I love, whether it is their mobile app or the website, it's super safe, super secure. You never have to worry about anything happening with your money, you getting hacked, anything of the sort, which is obviously the most important when you're looking to gamble. And then third off, you get paid instantly. With other apps, sometimes you got to wait. You got to sit there refreshing, got to wait a few hours, sometimes even a few days. With FanDuel, as soon as your bet hits, you get paid out. Guys, there's no better place to bet on all of the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Boston and get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's FanDuel.com/Boston. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Little disclaimer here, guys. Make sure you are 21 in your state and that your state does allow online betting and wagering. First online real money wager only if a $10 deposit is required. Refunds are issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that do expire after 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino. If you have a gambling problem or somebody you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/your state. So if you live in Pennsylvania, it would be FanDuel.com/PA. If you live in New Jersey, it's FanDuel.com/NJ. Or visit www.DraftKings.com www.1800gambler.net. But let's get back here and finish this video off here about DeAndre Hopkins. Now, as I scroll down in my notes, one of the bigger questions I think people are going to have is Bill O'Brien, right? How does Bill O'Brien feel? How does D-Hop feel about Bill O'Brien? Because I think some people have made this a much bigger thing than it really is in reality. And Bill O'Brien already said that he is very, very much open to D-Hop coming back. DeAndre Hopkins even said himself when he was traded to Arizona that there really wasn't a relationship to go bad when it came to him and Bill O'Brien, because him and Bill O'Brien didn't really have a relationship. So although I don't think Bill O'Brien being in New England is going to help our chances at him coming back, I don't think that it hurts our chances really in any way of him coming here also. One other thing too is that you look at DeAndre Hopkins' time, even with just the Houston Texans, his best statistical years came with Bill O'Brien as head coach. The Houston Texans in general, their best years came with Bill O'Brien as their head coach. If DeAndre Hopkins wants to get utilized right, if he wants to be the old DeAndre Hopkins and showcase himself before his career ends and try to push himself into that Hall of Fame talk before his career is over, Bill O'Brien is the guy to be able to do that. You don't want to go to a front office necessarily or a completely different team that you have to worry about if they're going to be able to manage you correctly. The other thing I want to hit on here is, what does this outlook essentially look like for the Patriots if DeAndre Hopkins does come here? So, as I scroll down, if the Patriots do land DeAndre Hopkins, the receiving core, I think, absolutely becomes stapled. And we thought that our wide receiver core was crowded. But you look at the Patriots OTAs and you look at the guys that had to fill in because some of these veterans were out. There was a day that we had every single veteran except for Juju Smith-Schuster, and Riley Webb, our special teamer, had to get several snaps at wide receiver because we still did not have enough bodies. If our two rookie wide receivers in Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas pan out, then that is great. Then the Patriots aren't as in need for a wide receiver necessarily as we think. But you have Juju Smith-Schuster, you have Kendrick Bourne, you have Devontae Parker, and you have Tyquan Thornton. Unfortunately, Devontae Parker, he deals with issues. Which version of Tyquan Thornton are we going to get? Juju Smith-Schuster from time to time does deal with some injuries, so you have to compensate in for those injuries also. So your four starting receivers, at least one of those guys gets injured, and now you only have three. The Patriots do still need some quality depth at wide receiver that they can rely on. That's where you put in DeAndre Hopkins. Again, we don't know what Demario Douglas is or Kayshon Boutte right now. If those guys pan out, that's great. We have more depth, but at this current time, we don't know. And what you don't want to do, especially if you're in a prove-it year for Bill Belichick, this Patriots offense, Mac Jones, is to be in a situation where you do not plan for the future, right? It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that's the exact situation it is with bringing on another core wide receiver. Because even if you bring on DeAndre Hopkins, he's still your number one wide receiver. This is the best wide receiver on your depth chart, whether you consider him washed up or not. He played in about 9 games this past year and put up 700 some yards, just below 800. You look at our number one wide receiver last year, that was Jacoby Myers. He put up slightly more numbers than DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins played half of what Jacoby Myers did. So even if we got last year's DeAndre Hopkins, who only played in 9 games, he would have been on this roster and been our second most consistent, most targeted, most productive wide receiver, just behind Jacoby Myers. And that's him only playing in 9 games. So imagine what he could do playing a full season here in New England. Because last year, if he didn't get injured, he was on pace for over 1,300 yards. I think there's an actual role for DeAndre Hopkins on this team, even if he's just taking some attention away, let's say, from other guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne. Because right now the question is, how is Juju going to perform going up against number one competition when it comes to defensive backs? Take that attention away from Juju and he becomes more productive. I think bringing in Hopkins only helps out the Patriots, and this finally gives Mac Jones a number one guy. Maybe not a comfortable number one like, let's say if this was 3 years ago, DeAndre Hopkins. But I think that people are very much underrating what Hopkins can still do, considering he was with Arizona and the train wreck that they just absolutely were. But what are your guys' thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins coming to the New England Patriots? Let me know in the comment section below. Like always, I will have you guys notified and fulfilled for all of your New England Patriots news, including DeAndre Hopkins. So make sure you leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. And after you're done subscribing, hit that bell notification so that you get notified as soon as I post videos. You guys will not want to miss out on all of the great Patriots news that is going to be dropping this time of year. But guys, New England Patriots will be bringing in veteran wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins for a workout. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember, leave a big like on this video. And like I said, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But most importantly, never forget, go Pats.